Hello and welcome to the Metropolitan Elites and the Lizards rung us up and all that stuff. Okay.
Jeremy Corbyn.
Jeremy Corbyn.
For a change.
Yeah.
We had a bit of a break from Jeremy Corbyn last week and we did Ian Duncan Smith instead.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to go back to Jeremy Corbyn now because we feel there's been a little bit of a change, don't we?
Yes.
It was incredibly negative for a long time on Jeremy Corbyn, and it was incredibly broad strokes. This guy's a complete left-wing extremist.
Yeah, he's a nut.
He's a complete laughing stock. Yeah. Tony Blair's been sticking the knife in. Gordon Brown's had a go. David Blunkett, even Betty Boothroyd has been sticking the knife in. It feels like they may be starting to turn. The Blairites, or the right wing of the Labour Party, have long said that if Jeremy Corbyn wins it, we won't win an election in a generation. We'll be out of power for a generation. And since that point, the Blairites have done everything they can to keep Labour out of Parliament for a generation. They've literally been feeding the right-wing newspapers and heavies and Linton Crosby with all the ammo he needs to take Jeremy Corbyn down should he win.
Yeah.
They've sort of got this idea that if it's not us, then it's nobody. Can't be anybody. We must win, which is riled quite a few Labour people at the grassroots. Because
this is the thing, though. What's happening is we're seeing the Blairites move themselves away from Labour and Labour's supporters.
Yeah.
So does that really mean? Is it deliberate? Because it will work. You could argue it might work.
Yeah, well, if
all those Labour voters will go back to Labour.
Just look what happened to the SDP in the 80s when they split off. They were the right wing of the Labour Party. They separated and they ended up joining with the Liberal Democrats. They almost died.
Yeah.
Died on their arse. So I don't think the Blairites and the right wing of the Labour Party really would want to split away.
No,
because they become irrelevant.
Yeah.
But there are the Liberal Democrats for that vote and there are the Conservatives for that vote. So, what would they be standing for? Does anyone really believe Liz Kendall's mealy-mouthed words when it comes to social justice? Whenever it brings up, yeah, of course there's got to be social justice, but we've got to be impaired to that, which means we've got to support these incredibly draconian actions by the Conservatives. Mm. No one really believes that. So anyone who is concerned about the social fallout from austerity is just going to stick with the Labour Party.
Yeah, and Labour are unelectable because of the Blair period, aren't they? That's why they're unelectable. Yeah. People won't vote for them because they were neoliberal and caused the banking crash, etc., although they didn't actually cause it. So surely the future for the Labour Party is back to where they were. That's what people talk about. That's all those Labour voters who left and voted for crazy things like the SNP would be enticed back, wouldn't they?
Mm-hmm. I did notice there was we say things are sort of changing to be more reasonable towards Corbyn, but there was a thing this week where there was a bit of a plot, well not a plot, but an attempt to smear Corbyn supporters. A poll came out saying that if you support Corbyn, you're more likely to believe there's a secret cadre of people controlling the world. So basically, to say, well, if you support Corbyn, you're a Fruit Loop, which is an interesting tactic.
It's ad hominem, isn't it?
Yeah.
Doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
But you're right. People are starting to talk about what he's actually saying.
Yeah. Rather
than just no, terrible, la 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 la, terrible,
left-wing extremist alert. So we've had some economists come out and say actually Corbynomics isn't crazy. It's fairly standard economics actually.
Yeah.
There was someone called him anti-American or something. Oh no, that's it. Corbyn support is supposed to be anti-American. In actual fact, Jeremy Corbyn's economic policy is very similar to the way that the Americans have dealt with, and the IMF have dealt with.
With the problem. Yeah, that's
with
true.
The problem.
Yeah.
And even the Guardian was pretty hostile towards Jeremy Corbyn.
Yeah.
And particularly Polly Toynbee. I don't think she's used but you can see a few stories actually discussing the ramifications of Corbynomics, actually investing in infrastructure, not going hell for leather to get rid of the deficit, and actually doing it in a constructive way such that people don't suffer along the way.
Yeah, and it's worked for so many countries.
Yeah.
But no, we have to dismantle the welfare state now. It has to go now, quick.
Yeah. So the Conservatives are using the banking crisis, which is a neoliberal economic crisis to justify dismantling the welfare state, which is a
neoliberal approach.
Yeah, a neoliberal approach. So neoliberalism fails, and they're using that as an excuse to do even more neoliberalism. There's got to be a problem there.
And yet, in another sense, I mean, it was a wet dream for the far right, wasn't it? That, in 2008, we have a banking crisis, an election in 2 years after that, so you've got the effects going. It was just a dream come true, wasn't it? It couldn't be any better. And and they're still now. Well, everything that's happened, it's all the fault of the Labour Party before, 5 years ago.
So the question is, what happens when this China economic problems, if that starts to spread, and it spreads to us? How do the Conservatives explain that? How do the Conservatives say that they're in charge now?
It was the Labour Party.
Yeah.
Well, China
Actually, you had the keys when the economy crashed, so it's your fault. I can't trust anyone.
Yeah. Anything else in the headlines? I know Armando Iannucci has done a good defence of the BBC.
Yeah.
Better than we could.
Yeah, it's about time someone did. I mean, he obviously knows it quite intimately. It's about time people started speaking up for the BBC. You only ever hear the critics of the BBC.
Yeah.
Yeah, they seem to have developed themselves a fairly strong, loud platform.
Yes, that's putting it mildly, isn't it? That particular platform there, it's a large platform. Yeah. The right-wing press.
Yeah. What else has happened this week? I'll mention briefly the China thing. The China economy is in trouble. Apparently, they're portraying the economy to be in a better state than it actually is, which is working out quite well because I don't know about you, but my fuel's a lot cheaper at the moment.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. It seems so great, doesn't it?
Yeah. Energy prices should go down.
But so much for our future overlords.
The issue
for that idea.
Yeah, the issue is if it does sort of spread, George Osborne has cashed in all our chips.
Yep.
Quantitative easing done. Can't do that. Lower interest rates. You can't lower them anymore. They're at rock bottom.
Yeah.
So what do you do?
If the shit does hit the fan, it'll be like a freight train, won't it? It'll be worse than 2008 actually, because there was nothing we can do. Yeah. And what they'll do, the Tory approach now, of course, is very clever spin, and they will spin it like pretend it's not happening or something. And that's what will happen. It'll be horrible.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean it's a fairly quiet week, but the Labour leadership thing is coming to a head. We're heading into September now. I think it's September the 10th.
Something like that, yeah.
Last day. So in a couple of weeks there will be leader of the Labour Party.
Yeah.
And hell shall rain down on him.
No, it certainly will. Yeah. Will people respond? Will people respond to the media as being, well, you bloody media?
Yeah.
It will attract all of those disgruntled people who are disgruntled with the whole system. They'll all gravitate towards Labour, and all the traditional Labour people will gravitate towards Labour.
Yeah.
Whether that's enough to win isn't even the point, is it? Because they couldn't win with Blair on Ox.
Well, I think Jeremy Corbyn's already dragged politics to the left slightly. This sort of momentum he's got.
That's what they're really afraid of.
They're
not afraid of him winning the election.
Yeah.
What it's going to do is going to move the balance of the centre of gravity, isn't it?
Yeah. Interesting times.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, catch us next week when the news has happened.
Yeah.
The Lizard Overlords will ring us up from our ivory towers.
Yeah.
And disgusting, woolly, wishy-washy liberal thinking will ruin the country. We've ruined the country because it was us in our ivory tower that controls the country, really.
Yeah.
See you next time.